Compass Mining is your trusted partner in Bitcoin mining. Whether you're investing in one machine or thousands, our customizable solutions are tailored to meet your needs. We are your experts in Bitcoin mining, offering a platform where individuals and businesses can purchase hardware, host machines, and access a range of ancillary Bitcoin mining services. We also specialize in large-scale site development and data center operations. Discover more at compassmining.io and see how we can power your success today. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, the official home of power mining analysis. Day number 2 down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We're here for the Mining Disrupt conference. Unfortunately, the weather's a little gloomy today, similar to what we're seeing in the market, with the Bitcoin miners giving up about 50% of the gains we saw during yesterday's session. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, in addition to some great news from Soluna Holdings. Before we get into it though, take a second, hit the like button, you guys. Big help to myself and the channel. Anthony loves it. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join and let us know in the comment section below how you're feeling about the miners, if you're going to be in the area for the conference this week, and of course your outlook as we enter Q2 in 2025. Now with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so Tuesday afternoon, day 2 down in Florida here. The storm clouds are rolling in, Anthony, literally and figuratively. We've seen the miners pulling back today quite substantially, about 50% of the gains we saw yesterday, despite Bitcoin still hovering in that $88,000 range. That's what we're going to be talking about, obviously, in today's video, in addition to some big news out of Soluna Holdings. Anthony, the conference officially starts tonight with the kickoff party. You and I have speaking engagements on both Wednesday and Thursday. Should be an exciting week down here in Fort Lauderdale.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, we speaking and moderating on both days. That'll be a great way to take part in the conference. We've already met some of the people attending the conference. There's people staying in the hotel and around the area. We managed to wander over to the conference centre, which is literally a 5-minute walk from our hotel, but they're all setting up today, so we weren't allowed access. But we'll sure to be there tomorrow morning first thing to catch up with people, then to do our various panels.
Yeah, really looking forward to that one. Now, I mentioned the miners have pulled back. There's one exception to this. You can see quite clearly Soluna Holdings, which is the company we want to talk about in terms of the news today. However, interesting trading, Anthony, as Bitcoin still very close to that $88,000 level we saw yesterday, but a real turn of the tape in terms of the share price performance for the miners.
Yeah, we talked about volatility. It may be, some people have made some short-term gains on the miners. We had some big jumps yesterday. CleanSpark was clearly the leader yesterday, up 17, 18% by the end of the day. And what we're seeing today is a pullback on some of these miners, despite the fact that Bitcoin isn't too far away from where it finished at its high during the day yesterday, just over 88,000. So the good thing is Bitcoin's holding the ground and looking to go maybe a little bit higher. So we'll pay close attention. As I say, we know the space is volatile. The miners are more volatile than Bitcoin, but we've got some good news on Soluna to come.
We certainly do. Now, Soluna, when we took this, was up about 5%. They've now started to power up Project Dorothy 2. So this is one we've heard John talk about on the channel extensively as they start to build out their portfolio of assets. This is a big step in the right direction. Obviously, the market reacting very favorably.
Yeah, this is one of the many projects that Soluna has on its books at the moment, and great to see this update. The energization of Dorothy 2, that's an extra 48 megawatts of capacity of power, which should generate between 19 and 25 million in annual revenue. Now they expect it to be fully ramped up by the end of the year, but remember some of our previous updates. Soluna's ramping up the hosting elements of its Bitcoin mining, and that currently stands at 123 megawatts. We know the likes of Bit Digital have been using Soluna as a host miners, put their mining machines in that were previously requested to be removed from the coin mint facilities. So there's a great connection there with Bit Digital, and Bit Digital are also looking to increase their capacity by the end of the year to 3 exahash. So maybe we see some more of the miners in the future coming through to Soluna as well. They've certainly got the capacity to hold host more miners. It looks like the focus is on hosting. And hosting, to be honest, we spoke to many of the CEOs, like Asher, like the team at Bitdeer as well, who've used hosting very, very effectively. I mean, I can remember when I started in this space, the majority of the miners that we cover now were actually host miners as well as self miners. Bitfarms was a host miner, DMG, Hive were all host miners. Even Hut 8 was a host miner before it amalgamated with US BTC just over a year ago. So many of the miners were in that, and then they found that the self mining proved to be obviously quite profitable, especially when we saw that the Bitcoin rise in 2021 all the way to 69,000. However, in those bear periods, hosting becomes a really good way of a company receiving cash flow, and I think Soluna are looking to sort of use that strategy now to get more cash into the business, to start developing these further projects in the pipeline that they've got. And they've got some significant ones. This one's 48 megawatts Dorothy 2, but they've got some projects that are probably 3 to 4 times the size that coming online over the next 12 to 18 months with the likes of Project Catty and others to be named as well. So this is a great update from Soluna. We've had John on the podcast, many times through last year and also in 2025. And, hopefully this will bring in some much needed revenues to drive some of the other projects along the line too.
Compass Mining makes Bitcoin mining accessible to everyone. Start mining in as little as 48 hours with our turnkey hardware, online and mining directly to your Bitcoin wallet within 2 business days. Find out more at compassmining.io and get started now. Yeah, most definitely. They've got a lot going on right now at Soluna, a real growth story. And I mentioned this on a prior podcast, but it's great to see these companies working together in the case of Bit Digital and Soluna here. Now, the other thing we wanted to provide an update on today, Anthony, there's only 4 days left in Miner Madness 2.0. We've started the preparation work for Miner Madness 3.0. You're going to want to sign up to the newsletter, 100% free to do. That's going to have all of the entry rules, regulations, timelines, all that kind of stuff, details that you need for Miner Madness 3.0. We've got some great prizing ready to go. And as it stands right now, Anthony, you may be winning some of that prize.
Well, I mean, 4 days is a long time in the Bitcoin mining space. And, we've talked about, even from the analyst position there, if you go back 3 to 4 weeks ago, we had the likes of San and Agrippa investments who were both in the top 5 or 6 of all on the full leaderboard. And, 4 weeks later, they've dropped down now to sort of, I don't know, 250, 255 the last time I looked. And so 4 days can change dramatically, but it's nice to be sort of I'd want to be probably close to the top coming into that final run now. But as I say, look at yesterday, if the stock can move 18, 19% in a day and another stock maybe only 1 or 2%, that has a massive impact on the competition. And so one of these miners could really do really well in a space of a short period of time. And as you've already said today, Soluna is leading the pack. So Soluna, last time I looked, was well in the green. And, many of the miners, even some of the more established miners, I noticed Core Scientific wasn't having a great day. And I start scratching my head at that because, they've got this phenomenal HPC deal that they're expanding into now. They're refurbishing all their 5 or 6 of their sites to host CoreWeave. And those revenues will start coming through soon. But it looks like, as we heard from Sam the other day, very little recognition being given to the miners with these hosting contracts. So, a bit of a head scratcher for me. As I say, the competition was a short-term thing, so I didn't pick Core this time. I did pick them in the first competition, but in the second competition, I looked at it from a short-term perspective, which mining companies would do fairly well, and up to now been proven fairly accurate.
Yeah, you sure have. I'm in 50th as it stands right now, so I'm working my way up, Anthony. We had a 1-2 finish in Miner Madness 1.0 in terms of the analyst board and hoping to repeat that one as well. Now, another great piece of news here, we wanted to share the schedule for the Mining Disrupt conference. So you and I are both speaking. I'm moderating 2 panels. One of them is actually your panel. You're speaking on one and moderating another. So very interesting topics, Anthony. I've got centralized versus decentralized mining. That one's going to be tomorrow morning at 11:35. Asher Janut's on the panel as well, really talking about, I guess, the Pubco model versus the BitAxe individual decentralized model. Looking forward to that one. The second one, you're actually a speaker in, Anthony. This one's called IPO 101. This one's at 9:45 a.m. on Thursday. Again, IPO 101, what analysts look for in publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. This is me sat alongside three of the big names in the investment banks. You have Matt Siegel from Van Eck, you have Kevin Dede from HC Wainwright, and you have Ruben Sahakayan from Stifel, along with myself on the panel, discussing what analysts look for in public mining companies. So it'd be a great opportunity just to see if I'm aligned with some of their thoughts as well. Looking forward to that. I've also got a second panel that day that I'm actually going to be moderating. This is looking at mining the Bitcoin war chest and looking at how companies can sort of build Bitcoin into their treasuries. And I've got a great panel there. I've got Matt Cole from Strive, Tim Kotzman from Bitcoin Treasuries, and Hans Thomas from 10x Capital. So really looking forward to that panel itself there. And it looks like it's going to be a great couple of days for us. And obviously the fun starts tonight at the party.
Yeah, looking really forward to that one, Anthony. We just had Fortress on the channel talking about treasury operations and management, so it should be a great conference. We're looking very forward to meeting up with more industry professionals throughout the remainder of the week. With that being said, you guys hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. We'll see you back here tomorrow.